Remember in my presentation I talked about the understanding, the triangle of understanding, the components of understanding, what it has to do with affinity, reality, and communication. Here is the key point. The reality is the agreement point. Find what you agree on. Find what you agree on. Find the commonalities. Okay? So you say something like, so it's a family event, and you're standing there, and somebody tells you, yeah, I think all the people in real estate are losers, and they're going to lose their ass, and if you even think to do syndications, you'll be crazy. Now you totally disagree. Disagreement creates a break in affinity. Affinity is when you like somebody, and there is tolerance of distance. When you like somebody, you want to be next to them. People are in love, they're holding each other. They're close, they're so close, they're going to be almost one, right? People that don't like each other, they're trying to be as far away from each other. So the affinity has to do with tolerance of distance. So you're in the same environment with them, they are messing with you, there is disagreement, so there's break in affinity, but you're in their environment. So you want to be able to communicate in a way that you have agreements. So what do? You find what you agree on. I mean, I'll give you a very simple one. It's pretty cool in here, isn't it? They say yes. Well, do you like wine? Yeah, I usually like red wine. I do too. And all of a sudden, what happens from their tension? It just decreases a little bit. You like kids? Yeah, I like kids. I do this. Now you find things that you can talk about that are points of agreements. Don't keep fighting them about the things you disagree on, because it's a family member, it's somebody in your life that's a little negative, and then maybe little by little, as you find some points of agreements, there will be more affinity, you start liking each other, you will start seeing their point of view, and they will start seeing your point of view. And your communication will improve, because when you will send a message, here is communication formula, when you send a message, it is received and understood, not misunderstood and reacted to in a negative way. It is received and understood and accepted and acknowledged and responded to. When you want to talk to somebody, the communication, you have to have the intention to tell them something. You have to get their attention to be able to talk to them. You have to be able to clearly and concisely, because people can only listen for so long, concisely present your information. And when you do this, you wait for the acknowledgement. That's when you're the sender of the info. You have the intention. So I have the intention to tell Marcy something. So I get her attention. I communicate, Marcy, we're going to do this and that. And then she says, okay. Now, what if she doesn't say okay? What happens? I'm waiting. The cycle of communication is incomplete. I'm getting pissed. I repeat myself. She said, I heard you. Yeah, but you did not acknowledge. Communication in the world is so bad, you can watch an interviewer interview movie stars and politicians and all this, and say, so what do you think of this and that? The guy tells them, and they ask another question. Well, acknowledge what the guy just said. Yes, I think you're right about that point. Well, you can immediately weed out 9 out of 10 famous interviewer would not pass the communication test. They probably have personal problems. They're getting divorced. They're getting issues. Why? They're not able to communicate and acknowledge. Acknowledge what the person tells you. It will keep the affinity. It will keep the communication going. It will keep the agreement points. So that's the sender. The person that receives, the receiver, got to do this, because you're both. You're sending, I'm sending. The receiver must give the attention, have the intention. See the difference now? Gives the attention, have the intention to understand. So you got to pay attention, have the intention to understand, receives and deciphers, if you will, the message that is sent, and acknowledges. And it happens in a second. Okay? So from Marcy's point of view, she got my attention. She has the intention to understand. She got the point, and she acknowledges. Now, communication is the best medicine in the world. It is the only medicine that the more you take of it, the better off you become. All other medicines, if you take more than the dose that you're supposed to, you'll get more sick. There is a dose you have to take. But in communication, if we keep sending a message that is received, responded to, received, acknowledged, good morning, hi, good morning. Have you ever said good morning to somebody that didn't respond? How did you feel? Boom, your morale goes down. What the hell am I doing with this guy in the elevator? I said good morning, guys, looked up on the numbers. So, did you hear me? I said good morning. You almost want to say that, right? You almost want to break him. So the husband is down in the basement. The wife is upstairs. Honey, what time is it? She says, it's 4 o'clock. Oh, 4 o'clock, I got to do this. It's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock, damn it, it's 4 o'clock. Yes, I heard you. And she says, well, this guy, I can't believe this husband of mine. But she's right, he's right, but he just did not acknowledge. As simple as that may be. And you see, and if you just keep that cycle going, and you hear people like sitting in a cafe, old buddies from the army. Ah, you old bastard, how you doing? I'm better than you, you sick bastard. But see, they're actually, it's a different level of communication. But they're old buddies, they want to talk about what they happened in the old days of whatever. And they understand each other. It's a communication. And people walk by, I don't know how these people communicate like this. They should be punching each other. They have a level of understanding, and there's a cycle of communication going. They have an agreement of some sort. There is good affinity. They understand each other. So when you're dealing with somebody so difficult, find the agreement points. It will be good affinity. You'll be able to communicate. So communicate something they will acknowledge. And the people will acknowledge what they can relate to. A sad person will acknowledge sad things. A happy person will acknowledge happy things. I go into the taxi cab in San Jose, California. I think I gave you that message before. And I tell the guy, I'm going to Santa Clara. Santa Clara is like 6 minutes from the airport. Okay, so my house is close to the airport because I travel a lot. And the guy's like, starts the car. He's pissed because he's not going to make a lot of money going from the airport to deliver me to my home. And I have no other choice. How do I get home? There's nobody home except me. My wife is in Cancun at the time, so I got to get home. So I tell the guy, it's a beautiful weather today, isn't it? I'm sending the message. He did not respond. Did not acknowledge. It's a totally different, his morale is down here. I'm a happy guy. I'm telling him here, it's a nice weather. So he didn't respond. I realized immediately, it's not his level. So I went down and said, horrible traffic, isn't it? And he turned around, it's been like this all day. He acknowledged that. You see? And I said, yeah, I'm sorry, it's a short trip to my house, but I'll take care of you. Oh, no. See, now I agreed with his feeling. I have the same reality he's got. He said, okay, that's no big deal, it's my job anyway. But you know what I'm upset at is the city does not allow us to start the meter at 15. And so now we're building a friend, he's discussing with me some feelings, some emotion. And the city is not allowing us to start the meter at $15, instead we got to start it at 9. I'm losing a lot of money like this. What did I do? I totally agree with you. Those city people, oh man, they should line them against the wall. And I said, and shoot them all. He said, oh man, you're so right about this, all these bastards. Oh, the guy's so happy, he says, I want to sit next to me instead of driving. You're getting the point on this. You see, this ties into the trust factor when you go raise money with people. You got to understand the reality. Like a manager of a business. Oh, I remember once I was managing the hotel and the director of sales came to me and she said, Cherif, I understand your triangle and the understanding. I got the sales manager. She's such a loser. When I bring her to my office, I tell her, you're a loser. She tells me, no, you hate me and you want me to quit and I'm not going to quit. How do I show her my reality? I said, you can't. You got to see her reality. But I'm her boss. That's why you must see her reality. Not you have, you must. So she said, how do I do it? Bring her and ask her, how do you think you're performing? What would you give yourself from 1 to 10? 10 being the highest. 6? Why only 6? Oh, you give yourself 10? That's wonderful. Can you do better? Do you think you have areas to improve in? Little by little, you will get the reality. You will be able to handle them. Handle them. And you will become the master of that moment in their life, you will have their reality, you'll have an agreement, you'll be able to bring them a little bit into your reality because now they understand the message. You got theirs first, you acknowledge it. As soon as they tell you something, you acknowledge it. They tell you, because I feel horrible about the fact that they changed my office and put me in a cubicle. Yes, that must be really a bad feeling. I totally understand how you'd feel. I'd feel the same way. But if you realize that, you know, the company had to add 2 more salespeople and we only have so much, all of a sudden, you got her reality, you acknowledged it, and you're giving her your reality. And now she likes you. Oh my gosh, she understands me. This lady went back to talk to the sales manager. Long story short, they became best of friends. Best of friends. Now, who can mess up this beautiful triangle? A third hidden party. A husband, a wife, love each other. They communicate well, they have great reality on all what they want to do in life, great affinity. And a third party, somebody like her friend tells her, your husband should not be working till 7 p.m. If he really loved you, you'd be home at 5 because that's not fair for the kids. Boom, third hidden party. You come at 7 with a big sign. So how you doing, honey? Don't even touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. What happened? I can't believe every day you're at 7. I've been like this for 2 years. You know what I do. Yeah, you know what? It's not fair for the kids. What made you think this way? Honey, I understand. What's making you feel this way? I don't think it's this way because Carolyn, her husband goes home at 5. Well, Carolyn's husband is a loser. That's what you want to say. But you don't want to say that. You want to say, oh, you know what? Carolyn's husband is a great guy. It's absolutely fair for the kids. I totally understand your point of view. I know how you feel. You are so right. Because she is right, I should be home with the kids more often. And you know what? If I just work a little bit harder now, I can set up something, I get rid of the apartment building, go into a triple net building. Every time I talk to you, go business. And it's you know, you're right. This is our moment. Let me just sit down here. Now she still does not want to, okay, now you talk a little bit. Now you get her reality. You start explaining this is a temporary thing because you got to handle this. It's my world. I need your support. Now suddenly, yes, it's like, yes, he needs some support. Reality is coming back. But you are patient enough to do it. Otherwise, you're going to cut affinity. She's going to walk. And when she's gone, you feel like, I got to disappear from here. How quickly can I pack my stuff and go? Instead, you know. And when you apologize, like that's another thing, that you will make mistakes with people. You cannot just say, okay, I'm sorry. No, that is not an apology in today's world. The apology must come in with what's called a cognition. An apology with these people that you're handling must be with a cognition. In other words, if they are mad at you, and now that you build rapport, they tell you, the reason I'm mad at you is because 2 years ago when we were standing next to each other, and this guy came over, you told him this, and you totally ignored me, and this. And you're like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it this way. Look, put it behind us. I'm sorry. No, you're not sorry because this happened. You know how it affected me? Look, I told you I'm sorry. I already told you I'm sorry. What do you want? You want me to kiss your hand? No, it's not the way to handle it. You should say something like, oh, I see what you're talking about. I am sorry I've done that because, now you're giving her the cognition. Because when I've done that, it must have affected you this way and that way. And if I've done this, I understand totally. I wish I can go back in time and change what I've done. So sorry I've done it. I would never do it again in the future because I totally understand how it is. Simple, bring it home simple. You come home, you leave your shoes right there in the living room. You walk into whatever. The wife comes over, says something like, what the heck is this? Every time you leave your shoes right here. Okay, I'm sorry. Here are the shoes. Here they are in my closet now. What? I can't believe you left the shoes. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. I'm sorry already. That's not an apology. It's not acceptable. You know, you're right. I shouldn't leave the shoes here because the kids could trip on it. Or it may smell the whole living room. Whatever it is, there is a cognition for the apology. You're moving it, and it could be from a small issue to a big dramatic issue. When you apologize to somebody, take full responsibility, state the apology, explain their point of view, and make a cognition. I am sorry because this, and I will not do it again, etc. People will forgive and accept, provided you keep the communication going based on their reality. They will come to your reality. You will attract instead of pursue.